Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So I want to show you guys how I find foods that are not on my meal plan and make them fit my macros for my meal plan. I know a lot of the feedback I received in your check-ins this week was from people telling me that they feel that they're setting themselves up for failure by eating the same thing every single day. They need ways to make their food. They're tired of eating meat. They're tired of eating, the same thing day in, day out. And I don't blame you. I don't do the same thing day in, day out because I would lose my mind. So I am determined to get you guys comfortable with figuring out your macros and figuring out how to count them and figuring out how to have fun with your meal prep and menu planning. So I personally don't like counting macros. I don't like sitting there on my phone on myfitnesspal all day trying to figure out if I've got room for peanut butter. You know what I mean? And I tell my clients, and I'm going to tell you guys too, I want you guys to put a bit of effort into planning your menus. Okay, if you're not going to be eating on plan, don't just wing it and hope for the best at the end of the day, because that's not setting yourself up for success. I want you to plan it out. So for me, I'll do this maybe once or twice a week. I'll sit down and I'll look at some recipes online. I'll look at some foods that I want to eat. I'll look at the food substitution list because a majority of my food comes from that food sub list, and there's just different creative ways that I make them. And I'll figure out, okay, I want to eat falafels this week. I want to eat chili. I want to eat, I'll make a list of things that I want to eat. And then I will find recipes, or I'll make recipes. And I'm going to show you how to do this here. And I'll break down the macros for each portion size for each recipe. Hi, Burrito. Hi. Did someone say chili? And from there, you can just, plot in your macros and your meals, and you can actually enjoy eating on plan, eating within your macros. So I'll go into my micro versus macronutrient spiel a bit later, but in a nutshell, not all carbs are created equal, not all fats are created equal. Like, you need to maintain the quality of your micronutrients as much as the quantity of your macronutrients, because every micronutrient acts as like a switch in your body, which will either turn on or turn off actions of your neurotransmitters, which essentially will either make you progress or regress, or make you sick or make you healthy. And you don't want to be getting, if you have 100 grams of carbs on your meal plan, don't get it from sugar and donuts. You want to be getting it from full, complex, full whole foods. And I'll get more into the reasons why a bit later with you. But for now, let's look at how we can have fun with some menu planning, okay? So I know I want to be eating, let's just say this week I want to eat some falafels, okay? And I know the falafels are high in carbs, but we're going to make it work. So I'm going to share my screen now. Hold on. Is it working? Yes, it is. Okay. Let's make me a bit bigger because that looks pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let's look at, I've got a really good falafel recipe that I love. But first, let me just show you here. Pinterest, pinterest.ca, well.com. I'm Canadian, right? What's he doing? Burrito? Can you check on him, babe? Yeah. I think he's like, it's like having a kid when you have a dog and he likes to eat everything. So I love Pinterest for recipes. If anyone is ever following me on Pinterest, I'm sorry, because you're going to see all kinds of do not eat this when dining, do not look here. And I just sit there and I just bank all these treat meal recipes that I want to make. And it kind of keeps me sane when I'm trying to diet down for competitions. I'm super strict when I'm in prep. But yeah, Pinterest is like the source of all recipes and like everything. And I don't think I know how to use it for anything else, to be honest with you. But you can do a quick search like low carb, high protein, ... will yield you like thousands of options. Like, look at these guys. We have this website with like 30 low carb keto meals. Now, we're not really practicing keto, but some of our meals are keto-esque, right? Like our margarita chicken and the salmon with dill sauce and stuff, that it would be considered a keto meal. But it looks so good. So these are keto meals here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. This is how I find inspiration on what I want to eat. I was going to say falafels, but this looks pretty darn good too. Creamy Tuscan garlic chicken. I already know ketos love their fat, and that amount of fat doesn't necessarily work for all of us. So, okay, so I was talking about falafels. So let's look at falafels. I probably spelled that wrong. Falafels. Okay. Okay, so falafels. You might find it when it's very purple from the way I make them. So for me, when I make falafels, I like to just bake them. I like to bake my falafels with no oil. I flatten them out, whatever. I make them that way, and they're really, really good. You don't have to deep fry them. There's always ways you can make your own version of a recipe, and I'll go over that in a second as well. So traditional falafel, let's see what this one is. That looks so good. I think this is actually the recipe I love. Okay, so 1 pound dried chickpeas. Yeah, this is the recipe I like. Okay, so here's a recipe, okay? We don't use that one for the ones that I make. Spices do sometimes have some carbs and stuff, so we're gonna include that. Okay, and basically it gives you all the instructions, you know how to read a recipe, a food processor, okay? But what you're gonna do here is you're going to go to myfitnesspal, log in on your computer. And this is the cool part here, okay? And, oh no, you're gonna make me log in. I don't remember my login. Let's just do it with Facebook. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my food, I believe. Food. And I go to recipes. This is the fun part. And here you can enter in the URL of the recipe that you're looking at, which I think is totally cool. So I just do copy. I just do paste. And I import the recipe. Okay, so you're gonna have to do a bit of cleanup here because it's just copying and pasting stuff. So 1 pound dried chickpeas. You can get rid of all the little details there. 1 small onion. Just keep it at that. You might want to like measure it and weigh it for yourself. So let's say, yeah, 1 small onion. So let's just say for me, I'm gonna say 1 cup chopped onion because that's more accurate than the small onion because the small onion is just, so, you know, subjective opinion as to how, like I could say this is a small onion. A 1/4 cup chopped fresh parsley, 3 to 5, okay, let's just say 5 cloves of garlic because we like it garlicky. This lady likes her roasted garlic, okay. 1.5 tablespoons flour or chickpea flour. I use coconut flour for this, so I can just say coconut flour because just add a little bit less carbs to the thing. That's what I've got on hand here. Salt, cumin, coriander, and then you're not using any of this stuff. Okay, so then you do match ingredients. This is the cool part. Okay, it says 6 servings, 131 calories. How many balls does it make? I don't even remember. Hold on. Let's see here. It says 6 servings. Let's see how many balls it's asking us to make for 6 servings because extended size servings and normal people size servings are a bit different. That's so good. Bear with me. But the balls won't hold together. Oh, it doesn't say. So in my experience, this recipe makes about 14 balls. And I like to have 3 balls per serving. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 4. So let's just say it makes 5 servings. We'll have to just weigh it out after it's finished, okay? So back to here. Say it makes 5 servings, so 106 calories per servings. Okay, save. So now we know. Now we know that we'll just double check our ingredients here. Hold on, 2 and 3. It's so cute. 2 and 3, 3 cup. Is that what they said here? Hold on. I'm just comparing 1 pound. Okay, so it's saying 1 pound. We can just say it's 2.33 cups, which is kind of strange. But all right, 2.33 cups, and we're gonna soak it. 1 cup of onion, that's correct. 1/4 cup parsley, that's correct. 5 cloves garlic, that's correct. Now we just check the calories and macros too because it can be off too. I think Coco wants to go for a walk. Yes, it's hanging on the balcony because he peed on it. I wanted to arrange a clean one. That's gross. He's like a little alien. It reminds me of like the Jetsons with those lasers. Choo, choo, choo. Oh, I love my little boys. Okay. Salt. I don't know if that's accurate. 2 teaspoons. That's right. 1 teaspoon. That's right. 4 teaspoons. That's right. Okay. Good. I'm just double checking all the ingredients, making sure it's okay. Okay. So we're good. So we now know that this recipe makes 5 servings, and I'll tell you the next step after this. So let's just do save and log, because that's how you're going to be able to see the macros in it. Okay. So let's say we're doing 1 serving, and we're going to add to today. Log it. Okay, so now we see our falafels, and we see that it's got 27 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat, and 8 grams of protein per serving. Lots of sodium. And 157 calories. Okay, so what you're going to do is once you complete your recipe, you are going to take all the food that you created in that recipe, and you're going to weigh it. So you're going to get a container, you're going to put it onto your scale, you're going to press the tare button so it reads 0 with the container on the scale. You're going to take all those 15 falafels that you made, or whatever it was, you're going to put them onto the food scale, and you're going to figure out how much it weighs. Then you're going to take that number, you're going to divide it by 5. And that's how you're going to know how big a portion size is. So once you know how much the entire batch weighs and how much a serving size weighs, then you can properly portion and prep your meals for accuracy and consistency. Okay, eyeballing it just doesn't work, because you know, if you're doing a recipe, excuse me, if you're doing a recipe, a lot of times you just eyeball a certain part of the recipe. It might be heavier than another part because you didn't mix it properly, and all different ways to mess that up. You have to be consistent. So weigh the entire recipe, divide it by the portion sizes in the recipe, and then if you have to cut a piece off one of the falafels to make it fit the right portion size, and so be it. If this is responsible eating, this is conscious eating, this is how we're going to see our progress. And this is how now we are eating falafels it's part of one of our meals. Okay, so let me look at my client Stacy's meal plan over here. And we'll see if we can apply this to Stacy's meal plan. Excuse me. So Stacy is on a lean gains program with me. It's one of my older templates. Yeah, this girl's eating like almost 2,500 calories a day, and she's still like crazy lean. Go Stacy. Okay, so let's look at her meal, high carb day. Let's look at her meal 3. Okay, so Stacy needs 62 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat, and 47 protein. And we want it from all whole, complex sources for the carbs and everything else as well. So what Stacy's eating for her meal 3 on a high carb day is 200 grams chicken breast, whitefish, sole, haddock, or TNT burger, which is the tuna turkey burger, tuna and water. Give her all the options there. 2 cups of green vegetables, and 200 grams of sweet potato. Okay. So if Stacy decides she wants to have falafels as part of meal 3, what is Stacy missing macro-wise? So we have 27 grams of carbs. So we're still missing about more than half. We've got 8 grams of protein, but she needs a whole hell of a lot more protein. And her fat is 2, so we're getting close on the fat. So what does that tell me? Stacy can't add too much more fat to this meal. She can add about 4 more grams. Stacy needs a crap ton more protein, and she also needs to have about 30 something grams more carbs. So what goes good with falafels? Let's say we want a whole wheat pita, because what's a falafel without pita, right? So let's go now to add food. And give me 1 second. I'm going to give you an example of how to be accurate. 1 second. I'm here just going to grab a package of food here. So I've got here a bag of Mission wraps, okay? These are just whole wheat wraps that Matt likes to eat here in Costa Rica. I don't think we have this brand back in Canada or the United States, so I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm going to drop it first. If you're using MyFitnessPal on your phone, there is a way, I'm going to pull it up for you right now, where you can scan the barcode of the package of food to get the exact macros per serving into your phone, which is really, really cool. So if I go, my phone is cracked, don't mind my phone. If I go to, see if you can see, sorry for the cracked phone, I dropped it, the barcode right there. So if I press that barcode, I get this awesome like little thingy, and I can actually scan the barcode of my, let's try to see what I'm doing here. of my bread. Oh wait, that was kind of special. And it tells me the macros in that package, okay? It's so accurate and it's so convenient. There's like no excuse not to know what you're putting into your mouth if you're eating out of packages. So since we're using a screen here, let's look up this brand of Mission Wraps. Wraps Integrales, because that's how it's read on the package. Okay. Excuse me. One wrap's 124 calories. I'm now going to compare the macros on the package to the macros of the stuff on the screen here. Here, 50 grams, 2 tortillas have 150 cal. So I'm looking for 150 cal. Close. 150 cal. Now I'm going to look for more indications on the package of what I can look for. Mission Wraps Integrales, Alto en Fibra. Anyone who's Latino in here, forgive me for trying that. Okay, well, let's just, for conversation's sake, say it's this one over here. But you're going to be a lot more committed to the accuracy of your meal planning. So let's just say we're going to add 2 tortillas to her breakfast. So where are we at now? I'm just playing around here. I'm just trying to show you how I have fun with my fitness pals who create a menu that I'm happy to eat. Eating foods are on the food substitution list. We have chickpeas and beans in the food sub list. I don't think of tortillas, and I'm only using this as an example because I have them here, and my cupboards are pretty barren right now. We just have like chicken and other proteins and a bunch of veg, and those don't have any scannable barcodes and stuff. So, okay, so now we see here we've got our fluffles and we have our tortillas. Oh, you're the wrong ones. So let me just now somehow, shit, how do I move that? Quick tools. And there's a way for me to move that to a different, okay, whatever, pretend it's all in the same meal, because we're only going to do this one meal for this entry anyways. Okay, so now we're looking at, we've got a total of 49 carbs. Okay, so we need, how many more do we need? 62 minus 49, so we're looking at about 13 more grams. Okay, that's cool. Fat's at 8, so now we're over 2 grams of fat for these this meal. And protein is 47, and protein is 11. So you see here, we're severely lacking protein. Now, what I would do is because fluffles are very hearty, they're very like filling as is. I don't want to sit down and put in like 200 grams of chicken into my body. I'm going to be eating this many calories and this much volume. I'm going to be full. So in this case, I would probably take on a protein shake, just to up those protein numbers. So let's go and add in some protein. Quick add food, because that's going to keep, if protein's lean, it's clean, it's easy, and there's like no volume. It's like a liquid. You just get it down and you're not going to feel like overly bloated from drinking that. So let's look at, I like my All Max Nutrition Isoflex, because this is one of the purest proteins out there. Okay. Ooh, we have a caramel macchiato flavor. Okay. So 1 scoop. Here we go. Let's add that to the diary. And what are we at now macro-wise? Okay, so now we're at 50 carbs. So we're still low on carbs. Goodness. Okay, 50 carbs. We are at 8 fat. We're at 38 protein. So where are we now? So we are, we still need about 9 grams of protein. And we still need about 12 grams of carbs. Okay, so why don't we give her a bit more of this falafel, because they're pretty high in carbs. Let's see what happens if we give her 1.5 servings. What happens to our counts here? 63 grams of carbs. Okay, so we're getting closer. We're right there. Our fat is 10, the fat here is 6, so we're kind of over on our fat here. Let's see what we can do. And our protein's 42 and it's 47. So that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Where can we get rid of some of those, the fat? It's these tortillas that are higher in fat, as I can see here. So let's give her a bit more protein scoop. Let's give her 1.2, see what happens here with the protein. She's now at 47 protein. What's happening in the meal plan? We are bang on, spot on with the protein here, okay? The carbs are 63, 62. We're pretty much spot on with the carbs there too. The fat is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're 4 grams over in fat here. Okay, I'm not going to sweat it for this meal because I know now, because I'm just planning. I'm planning ahead. I'm not planning as I go, okay? So now I know 4 grams of fat have to come off one of the other meals in that day to make up for the extra 4 grams that are on this meal right here. Okay, so now what did we just do? We took Stacy's meal 3 of 200 grams of chicken breast, whitefish sole or haddock, 2 cups of green veg, asparagus, whatever, and 200 grams of sweet potato. And we gave her like 4 falafels, or like 4.5 falafels. We gave her 2 tortillas. And we gave her a scoop and a quarter of protein powder with water for dessert, because it's going to be really awesome with dessert. Stacy's not eating chicken today. She has a protein. She's happy. It's good whole food. The protein source, because of the protein shake, isn't necessarily the best option, but that's how we can make adjustments here and there to enjoy food that we're eating. So for the next meal, let's just say we've got 2 caramel rice cakes, whatever. Let's see where we can cut some fat off. Okay, so here we got 170 gram sirloin steak, right? These are fattier cuts of protein. What you could do is lower the grams of the fattier protein in the next meal to make up for the fat that's in this meal. And why I say this is because fattier cuts of meat and fish, they weigh more. They have more fat and they're lower in protein. So reducing maybe 5-10 grams from that meal won't be it won't affect your protein counts as much for that meal. It would be more of the fat counts. And if you're a little bit short on protein there, then you can up it in the next one as well. It's all about balance. You want to be within 5 grams per carb, protein, and fat. Fat's a little bit trickier because it's higher in calories per gram. But as long as you are close and you make up for it in other meals, you're going to be okay. Get into myfitnesspal. myfitnesspal is amazing. It's going to help you to expand your database of meals. It's going to help you to have fun with your eating and meal planning. And you can import recipes from websites. You can import your own recipes as well. Let me show you how I do that as well. You can just do enter a new recipe. And you can just call it like, I don't know, protein mug cake. I love this one, okay? And then you're gonna add ingredients. I spelled good. Typos. I just do whey protein. And they'll pull it up. And then you can do coconut flour. You know what I mean? And you just keep on adding things in and you can build your own recipes as well. So just to reiterate, step 1 is find out what you want to eat. Step 2 is weigh everything out to create that product. Oh wait, no, that's probably step 3. Step 2 is import that recipe into myfitnesspal to figure out what the macro breakdown is for the whole recipe. I'd like to do the whole recipe because it's easier to also figure out the macros per. You can wing your serving size as you go. Yeah, figure out the macros are for the whole recipe. Then you're going to measure and weigh all your ingredients. You're going to make a recipe. Then you're going to weigh your entire recipe and figure out portion sizes that way. The way I showed you, my mistake, the way I showed you in this video will give you the portion sizes, the macro breakdown per portion, which is easier to track in myfitnesspal because you'll know how to separate the portion sizes from the master recipe through the weight that way. You can do it either way. You can either figure out portion sizes before you make it, and then weigh it afterwards, and figure out what the weight per portion size, or you can make the entire thing, weigh it, and then figure out portion sizes based on the volume of food that you made, which is a bit more tricky. So just stick to the way I showed you here, okay? This is already getting long, guys. I hope this made sense. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if it didn't help you, and I am excited to see what you guys come up with for your meal substitutions, because there's no need to be eating cans of tuna with like mayo and feta all day, every day. You know what I mean? Happy Tuesday, and I'll see you guys in the room in a few minutes. Bye.